associated with that toy line of the brand. So I would decide with my team what's our revenue that we wanted to make? How many items, toys should we have in order to make that number? What price point should they be at? If you remember, those of you, the Pokemon fans, the little ones were $3.99 for a couple of them. And then you could go all the way to a play set that was like $49.99. So we had an entire line. We managed the packaging, the advertising, the promotions for it. I did a $1 million Be the Man, Batman promotion when Batman Beyond came out, the TV show. Do you remember Batman Beyond? Yeah? Good. So I would also have to do a lot of this. I would have to speak in front of retailers and tell them why they needed this new line, why it was so exciting, what it was that was new and what we were changing. So it was a very, very fun job, but it was also a lot of work. Pokemon, as you can imagine, we thought that it was going to be this teeny tiny little success. Well, it wasn't. So the first year, we thought it was going to be a $3 million brand. We were hoping that maybe it would be $3 million. We did $346 million the first year, which basically meant my whole year was, how can we make more? How can we make more? Oh, how can we make more? That's really what I did for a year. So that was Hasbro. So you might imagine my two sons, who were 4 and 6 at the time, they would walk into Hasbro, people would hand them toys. They thought that this was the pretty coolest job that mom could ever have. But I was actually looking for more. I was looking for something else. The corporate world is tough, and I was looking at seeing how I could also be more creative. So I left for a company called Ideas to Go. This is probably not a company that you've heard of, but boy, you've probably heard of the products that we have touched. So we are here in Orlando. We also have offices in New Jersey and Minneapolis, Minnesota. We do work all around the world. And what we do is we help companies come up with new products. Okay, call out the one that you're oohing and ahhing over. Okay, let's talk about a few of these. So how many of you all know at least something on the screen? Yes, raise your hand if you know something on the screen. So let me tell you a little bit, and have you ever thought about how these were made? Have you ever looked at them and go, wow, I wonder how they came up with that idea? In a lot of cases, when you see something new at the grocery store, when you go, wow, I wonder who came up with this idea, that's where Ideas to Go comes in. That's where we help companies come up with what should be next. So let me give you a couple of examples. Pizza Hut, that's Cheesy Bites. Have you all had Cheesy Bites? Excellent. So Pizza Hut came to us and said, we need new innovation in pizza. There's too many people Domino's is competing on price, everyone else is competing on price. We want to have the best pizza. And we are all about what their line was at the time, was gather round the good stuff. And so we were looking at what can we do, and we actually brought in teams like you all to help come up with ideas. We ideate with consumers to say, okay, consumers, what would you like from a pizza company? And we do a lot of activities. We do brainstorming, but on a very complex level. Come up with hundreds and hundreds, sometimes thousands of ideas. And then we narrow them down to the top 50. And then we refine about the top 20 or so. And then they start making them into prototypes. And out of that whole ideation, maybe 1 or 2 of them succeed. In this case, the Cheesy Bites did something that Pizza Hut called rung the bell. It was their best-selling item, outselling anything else that they had ever launched. So it rung the bell. Nothing at Pizza Hut has rung the bell since then. Dinosaur eggs. That's an example of one. Quaker came and said, we have research that shows that if kids aren't eating oatmeal by the time that they are 6 years old, they will never eat oatmeal because they think it's gross. How, right? Yeah, okay. How can we get kids to like oatmeal? Because it's good for them. We had an ideation with them, and something came up, and it's like, wouldn't it be cool if something in the oatmeal transformed? So we came up with this idea of eggs hatching. They had no idea how that would happen. And they just kind of held hands and said, let's go back and ask our technology people. Well, the technology people said, well, it's really very easy. We take a polymer and we wrap the brown sugar around it, and when you add hot water, it releases it, and then the tiny dinosaur egg candy is inside. And it's delicious, right? And you love pouring the water over it and seeing little dinosaur. Admit it, are any of you still doing this? Still having dinosaur eggs? Okay, me too. Me too. It's fun. It's fun. So we help companies come up with new products and services. So everything from keep the change. How do we help consumers save more when they're doing things? We helped come up with the Bissell Symphony name. And the Doritos Loaded, we work a lot with Frito-Lay. Are you guys familiar with those at 7-Eleven? They're really good when 7-Eleven makes them hot and fresh. When they don't, they're not really good. Is kind of what's happening. So get them when they're right out of the oven, they're fantastic. Now, here's the thing that you're going to know that before anyone else knows. You ready? Because we work very closely with Frito-Lay, and this is we just got an announcement last week, so I thought I'd put this in to kind of up my cool factor with you all. On February 14th, they are rolling out a new product for Cheetos. This is quite a big switch for Cheetos, and we've worked on this product for the last year and a half with them. It is called Cheetos Sweetos. Right? Is to have at least that much applause as the Cheetos product did, okay, by the end of this. So it is, it's a different way to approach Cheetos. Jester's taking it sweet, and they are cinnamon sugar flavored. Okay, you guys are really sweet. So now I just want, when you go into the stores in about a week and a half, you see this, it's going to be out for Easter, you can go, oh my gosh, I know about that. And I know the company who helped make it. And they work in product innovation. And this is what they do, and this is how this happens. And I don't want you ever again to look at a shelf and go, oh, these things just magically show up. There's years and years of development and ideation work that gets us there. So we do it by working with consumers, ideating on behalf of the consumers for the companies. That's how we make it happen. And we do work all around the world. So I go to London several times a year. I was supposed to be in Bogota, Colombia last week, but I had some colleagues go. The coolest place I've ideated is Borneo. So that was fun. Brazil is lovely. So we can do this anywhere all around the world, working with consumers, helping them come up with products that will serve them. So here's just a recap. This is the tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them, I did that, now tell them what you told them. I got here because I was willing to do whatever it took. I was looking at, okay, you've got a job for me, I'm going to make myself absolutely indispensable. You're not going to be able to live without me. And you're going to need to pay me more, by the way, while you do this. Not asking for it, but deserving it. You do it by being good to people. I always have a connection with the people that I work with. I try to go above and beyond for them personally. And it has helped me a number of times. I can tell you about the jumps in my career have been because somebody thinks that I'm a good person. And they think that I'm also very talented. And they want to have it go forward. I expanded my knowledge. You see that I didn't just keep on one career. I kept going, okay, well, I'm going to learn a little bit more about this. I'm going to learn a little bit more about this. And I made myself applicable for broader careers. I didn't know everything about them when I went into them, but I had at least a touch in a lot of different areas to be qualified for it. And I said yes. So some people, I used to say, I've been really lucky in my career. And somebody told me, no, you're not lucky. You are the intersection where prepared and opportunity meet. So I was prepared for it, and then when I saw the opportunity to do something, I jumped and said yes and went into it. So that's the real key. And I have to tell you, this Ideas to Go job was a real risk. I was the sole income earner for a family of 4, and it's a total commission job. I didn't know if I would be able to make money on it. It was not the safe way to go. But 4 years ago, myself and 2 of my colleagues, we actually bought the company. And it's paying off quite nicely. But that's because I said yes and took the risk on it. So I hope that you learned a little bit more than dinosaur eggs from Quaker are cool and they made them. Or that Cheetos is coming out with a sweet product and it's really good. I've tasted them. I had to taste test it for you. I did it for you. But I want you to think about, there's a couple things. I want you to know that there are creative jobs out there. This is what I wear to work. I wear Birkenstocks because I'm on my feet. I can be more, you like Birkenstocks? All right, this is my Birkenstock outfit. You don't have to wear a suit if you're not that type of person and you want a different kind of job. I work in innovation. There's whole fields around product innovation, and it's very exciting what's going on with it. And you can chart your own path. Go into college and follow what you love. Not necessarily just what your parents say, oh, I know the direct path to a job. An English major, I did not know where it was going to take me. It's taken me very far. And enjoy yourselves. You guys are at just the most exciting time of your life. If you're nervous, relax. You'll be fine. If you're not nervous, get a little bit more nervous. It's fine. Okay? Somewhere in between. So I would love it if some people stayed afterwards, even if you want to ask me about some of those products or anything else about the way that we got here, or something you're just curious about. Where'd you get your sweater? Whatever it might be. That will be afterwards. But thank you very much for your time and your attention.
Don't forget, we have the athletic signing ceremony outside. Have a great day, team.